Hey everyone, I'm Jerod.
And I'm Arthur, and you're listening to
Unheard of.
Welcome back everybody, another great week with your boys here at Unheard of. To the left of my screen, and all of yours if you're watching on YouTube, we got ABG. How have you been this week, man?
I've been pretty good, man. Just doing a whole lot of working and trying to have fun when I can. And this adult life, so you gotta pick and choose your moments and things like that. But I went bowling today, so that was pretty fun. Had a good time. I lost both the games we played, but still had fun. What about you, man?
Well, the wife and I had a nice date night this past weekend. Did some painting. But as far as this past week goes, life has been kind of killer lately. A lot of people may not know this, but if you keep up with me, I'm sure you know a little bit. At the mere age of 25, I have developed a milk allergy. And for what people may not know is I'm a pretty big milk drinker. Like, I literally drink so much milk, maybe 1 or 2 cups in the morning and another 2 to 4 cups at night. Like, we used to buy maybe
2 to 4.
Yeah,
That's a lot. That's a lot of milk, dude. Like, do you eat cereal or are you just drinking cups of milk
I'm just straight drinking it.
like it's water?
Yeah.
That's probably why you're allergic.
Yeah, that's the theory that Tiff has too. She said I pretty much drank so much that my body started to reject it, and it's been a real struggle. I know a lot of you on my Facebook feed this past week. I posted a picture of 4 different types of milk, like the almond milks, the oat milks,
Wait, you
soy
can't
milk.
drink almond milk either?
No, I can,
Okay.
but I'm saying I'm been trying to find an alternative because basically, I've actually known I've had this allergy for a little over a month, but I've been on the struggle for a while trying to find a good substitute for milk because nothing really tastes the same. And shout out to all my Facebook family out there because the creamy oat milk, it's probably the closest thing, and that was suggested on my Facebook. And I went out and bought it, or rather, Tiff bought it for me, and it's pretty close, but it's not the real deal. Okay, I can probably have maybe a cup of that every few days. Um,
Creamy oat milk?
yeah,
What does that even
basically,
taste like?
uh, not bad. I mean, it's close to milk, but I can't describe the taste of it really. It's better than almond milk and soy milk. I'll tell you that. Um,
Yeah,
but
I can
literally,
imagine so.
so all this started a few months ago, um, before the end of 2020. I basically, and I don't want to get too much into detail for all of our listeners and viewers out there, but I was basically taking some horrific dumps like every morning. And every time I would drink milk, like over the course of the past 3 to 4 months, it got so bad to where I was starting to basically throw it up as soon as I was drinking it. And I talked to my doctor. They're like, yeah, you probably have a milk allergy. And I did some research. I'm like, kids develop milk allergies, not people in their 20s. So, um, needless to say, I had to stop drinking milk a little over a month ago. And I've already lost like 15 pounds, man. I mean, apparently I was so bloated from my milk allergy and it treating my body wrong that it's been holding in some weight.
Like, I don't know, man. I kind of got my fill on drinking a lot of milk when I was younger. Like, 'cause one time I feel like I drank way too much milk, and I had these like really bad burps that stunk really bad,
Yeah.
and that kind of got me out of drinking milk. Just I don't know for fun. Like I don't know. I'll have milk when I have cereal, but other than that, like I'm not just out here drinking milk.
Dude, I literally thought that I was having all these bodily problems from stress because when all these problems started occurring, I was trying to get promoted at my job. And after I didn't get promoted, I got over that, mentally in like a week or two, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, oh my God, all this crap is still happening to me. I was like, maybe I should actually talk to my doctor about it. And sure enough, they're like, you know, if you stop drinking it for a couple days and all these problems go away, you have a milk allergy. And it looks like I have a milk allergy. So no more dairy for me. There's still funny situations around the house because just the other day, the family wanted to go get some ice cream for like peach cobbler, and
Yeah.
they're like Tiff literally asked me at the store. She was like, "Hey, do you want any ice cream?" And I just looked at her. I'm like, like, like I can't have it.
She. So like you can't have like anything with milk in it.
No, it really makes me upset. Yeah,
Wow. And there's a lot of stuff with milk in it, man. That's crazy.
like I can still have some things like like an omelet with cheese in it and all that. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
really affect me, but literally like ice cream, milkshakes, obviously, and milk in general is pretty horrible for my body now.
Now what about milk steak? Can you have that?
God, I haven't tried it yet.
No, yeah, I've had milk steak with a side of jelly beans.
No, and you know what's pretty awful about it is I've been doing really good. Like I stopped drinking it, because obviously it's been killing my body. And I was at work one day, and it was kind of warm out here. It was like 60 degrees, and in Cheyenne with the higher elevation, that's kind of warm. Um,
Yeah.
so I got to lunch, and I'm thinking, I was like, it'd be good today, a milkshake. So I went to go get a milkshake, and I didn't even like think twice about it, just because I was still like early in the stages of all this. And I went and I had a milkshake, and immediately after I drank it, I'm just like barfing on the side of the road. I'm like, oh my God. I said, I just had a
Sheesh.
milkshake. I said, I wasn't even thinking about it. I just ordered a milkshake.
I don't know, man. See, that's why I'm glad that my life has gone all right enough to for me to not have any allergies, man. Like, there's stuff I don't like, but I'm not allergic to it. So yeah, I just gotta thank the maker or whoever designed these meat sacks that we live in that mine doesn't have any allergies.
That's literally, I have no allergies whatsoever, with the exception of the milk allergy now that I've
So
just
you do have
developed.
allergies,
Now I do, yeah.
yeah.
So, life has pretty much just kicked me in the tail. That's how it's been lately. I mean, technically, for a weight loss situation, it's been really good because just from not drinking milk alone, I've basically lost like 15 pounds.
Well, my gym like journey is still going on, so I'm pretty close to being below 200 pounds. So I'm uh I'm getting pretty healthy.
I've been eating really good this year. Like I've been doing a really good job. And now with the whole milk allergy, I'm basically just drinking water like for all of my meals. Um, so I'm eating better. We're substituting meat a lot more. So like if there's a recipe with ground beef, we'll actually just put turkey in it most of the time now.
Yeah.
Um, so we're doing pretty good. I just got to get in the habit of working out more.
Yeah, man, I'm really finding my love for the gym again, man. The other day I spent like 20 minutes on the treadmill, and I finally was working down my mile time and got it down to 11 minutes. So I mean that's not super good, of course, by any means, but for me, you gotta take the personal victories. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And so I got on the treadmill. My knee was like on fire, and I just kept running until I couldn't feel the pain anymore, and I mean, I got to 11 minutes, so only up from here.
11 minutes isn't bad for people trying to get back into it. So, I mean, fun fact: when I was going into the army, my mile was about 11 minutes at the time.
Yeah,
That's probably
But
what it
like,
is about now. It's probably like 11 or 12 minutes, honestly.
I mean, yeah, I did. I spent like the first 2 minutes of the mile walking just like I said, because my knee was hurting so bad. Then I was like, all right, I gotta run. Let me see what time I can get to. So I mean, I don't know how it would be if I just ran the whole time, but yeah.
Nice.
Um, what was your mile time when old Uncle Sam owned you? What was the fastest mile time you had?
The fastest mile time I ever had was 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
Wow, dang. The fastest one I ever could get to was like 9 minutes when I was like heavy in the gym before, like a couple of years ago.
Well, um, it always depended on like the leader I had basically because you're in these platoons which are basically just your work groups that you're with every day, and my average mile time was between like 7 minutes to 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Like if I was just working out on my own most of the time and doing what I was supposed to do. But we had one leader that was all he cared about was running. I mean, Jesus Christ. Monday, 8 mile jog. Tuesday, 4 mile jog. Wednesday, your legs are healthy again. 10 mile jog out to like the Washington Monument. And it was just running nonstop for like 5 days straight every week. And that's how I got my mile time so low.
Jesus, wow, what the hell? Like
Yeah,
y'all didn't take any breaks in the 10 miles or 8 miles or 4 miles. Y'all just ran it all straight.
yeah, you run it all straight.
See, that's why I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man.
Well, that's more of
I'll
a
be going I'll be going AWOL on these folks, bro. They never find me.
that's just more of a resilience thing. Like, because when you do those big jogs, like 6 to 10 miles, they don't really expect you to go fast. It's just like a light jog where you're just trying to keep up, and not stop at all.
Still, that sounds like torture.
Yeah, I mean some days I miss some of it, but yeah, it was a lot of running. um, but yeah, I mean maybe I'll get back one day. I just need to start working out a few days a week.
Well, speaking of working out, you know, you know, I was gonna try to do a nice segue there, but I felt like I was onto something and then I lost it.
Speaking
Zack
of
Snyder's,
speaking of working out, let's work out that Zack Snyder Justice League cut.
yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League is out. His cut of the movie is out. It's 4 hours long, and in my opinion, it's one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Yeah, I mean we spoke earlier, and I assume by the time this comes out tomorrow, Monday morning for all of you, literally I'm 2 hours into it. You're about halfway. I think by the end of Monday, I should be done with it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think a lot of people, if you've been listening to the show, everybody knows I hate big CGI messes. We just talked about it last week. But um, I can let that slide for a good story. And though there's some scenes like that, we discussed it before the show. Cyborg scenes I think are really good. I'm talking about like the big battles so far, but the character development in Zack Snyder's Justice League has been really good for like the first 2 hours that I've watched so far. So no, I don't think it's a bad film at all. I think it's a much better version of Joss Whedon's Justice League, and um, I'm looking forward to all of it. I mean, 4 hours is it's a behemoth of a movie. Jesus Christ, it takes forever to watch.
Oh yeah, man. But one thing like you said, the character development. I like the fact that like every member of their Justice League and their gets their own like little scenes of like character development or like Cyborg when he's listening to his father's recording that he left him on the tape player, or the flashback to what made him into or the accident that took his mom and injured him really bad that made his dad turn him into Cyborg,
Yeah,
or like seeing Barry visit his dad in the prison. Like it's stuff like that that like stuff that we didn't get inside of Joss Whedon's uh, Justice League film, and this just makes it 10 times better because those characters didn't have their own movies. We got Man of Steel, like we were familiar with Superman, of course, and then the Batman versus Superman movie. I mean, which was, I mean, I guess technically a Batman movie, but I guess it's also technically a sequel to Man of Steel. It was mostly a sequel to Man of Steel, but just introducing Batman and Wonder Woman and everybody. But like these other characters didn't have their own films before this Justice League movie came out, which I felt like was a huge misstep on their part. But I don't know. I feel like Zack with Justice League, he realized that they didn't have their own movies, so he was going to let you get to know them inside of this movie, which makes it a lot better.
Yeah, and I think we've discussed it a few times. DC, they wanted to catch up to Marvel so bad that they started releasing these films with like no character development whatsoever. They're just like, hey, here's Cyborg and Flash and Aquaman all together, piling up in one movie together. So for them to not do the whole single movie step like Marvel, so everybody could get used to the characters, I think killed it. But technically, so that's one of the good things about Zack Snyder's Justice League so far, because you get all that character development because they don't have the movies. I just wonder, the question is, would we have still gotten that if Zack Snyder had to release it in theaters? Because obviously they can't release a 4-hour movie in theaters.
That's true. I feel like they would have at least made it about 2.5. Well, how long was the Justice League movie that came out?
I think it was close to 2.5. It was pushing over 2. I know that.
I was gonna say they might have made it 3 because they well what no he stepped down. Okay, so Zack Snyder stepped down because of, I mean, of course, because of his daughter's passing,
Yeah.
and then he also stepped down because of they wanted to enforce a 2-hour movie length, right?
Yeah, it's literally a straight 2 hours.
So yeah.
2017.
So then I feel like he definitely wanted it to be longer. He definitely wanted to flesh out these characters how they should have been without with the caveat of them not having their own movies. So
I think maybe I have also given Zack Snyder some flack for these films. I'm seeing, because I've said before, I like Man of Steel. I like his version of Superman, with the exception of some of, like, the straight up killing and stuff. But I like Man of Steel, and this movie shows me his version of Justice League, that maybe DC has the same type of producing problem that started giving Sony trouble with Spider-Man.
what do you mean?
Well, like in the second, in the reboot of the first Spider-Man films, when Andrew Garfield comes into play,
Yeah.
they let the director do his thing on the first film. So when you get
Yeah.
The Amazing Spider-Man, it's actually a pretty decent film. But then the second one is where the story gets all choppy. Because if you listen to producers and the director, he said, yeah, Sony said that we had to put this in there, we had to put that in there. They didn't really let the director have their own vision. And that's kind of what happened with Sam Raimi and Spider-Man 3. I'm starting to think that Batman vs. Superman also kind of had that problem with the DC producers stepping in and adding so many things. And the same thing with the Justice League film, Joss Whedon's theatrical cut, because this version is really well done as far as like storytelling.
Yeah, like I mean, people. I mean, you say that, right, about Sony and DC, but I mean, Marvel, their ecosystem of films and TV shows is so tight. They definitely, like, that's why some directors step down from making their movies. Like the one, Ant-Man, the original director, I forgot his name, but he stepped down because they were telling him what to do with his movie, right? So I mean, like, those movies are still phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Those movies are still really good, but or at least to me.
Well, it's a better process because Marvel knows what they want already, and they know not to kind of overrush storylines and mix all these characters together. It's different processes. Like there's a difference between knowing how to tell a story and trying to do fan service and make as much money as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, I don't know how much of it is fan service and how much of it is them just not knowing when to stop. You know what I'm saying? Or when something isn't gonna be good, or they'll just be like, they'll like this, just throw it in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, apparently I read a report that said the executives at Warner Brothers were like aghast that Batman vs Superman and Justice League received so many negative reviews because they thought they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, like they were just like, yo, this looks cool, this sounds cool. It'll they think it'll translate really well into the movies, but I mean, I feel like a lot of movie watchers, I mean, especially a lot of comic book fans, a lot of superhero fans, movie watchers. I mean, they got bigger brains than they think. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna let you know when something is like looks dumb or character motivations or stuff like that is just off. So
True.
especially the Martha thing. God, don't get me started on that. But but yeah, back to just the Snyder cut. So what's some of your favorite moments that you've seen so far from it?
Mm, I really like I really like the development on the Flash and Cyborg so far. I'm only like I said, I'm only halfway in. So, um, but to me, the Cyborg scene of him, kind of learning his powers from within his own mind and learning how to fly, that was really cool. Um, and yeah, the Flash is it's kind of interesting to me. I don't know if I like the slow motion every single time that he goes fast.
Yeah,
Like sometimes if it was just like a tenth of a second, that'd be fine for me. But the the Ezra Miller as the Flash is kind of funny, so he's kind of got a good grasp on the character.
yeah. I like how they kind of I don't. Maybe this is just them trying to differentiate his Flash from, of course, the CW's Flash.
Yeah,
Because, like, I mean, CW's Flash, you don't really see too much of him going like in super slow mo to for his scenes or anything like that. And that's probably also, I mean, they probably don't have that much money to do that with in the CW. But yeah, and then making him funny. I like that scene when he saves um, unnamed woman from the car crash, and
is it?
I mean, is that Iris?
I was about to say, isn't it Iris?
I mean, no, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. If she's still in the movie, they didn't say her name, so she's
And
just unnamed black woman to me. So I don't
and,
know.
and I don't know about you, but to me this scene was kind of weird and funny when he does save her, because the truck like hits. Well, my God, at this point we've already given some spoilers, so if you don't know, then sorry. But literally when the truck hits like basically the hot dog cart, and he's saving her, and there's just like, the weenie dogs just flying all over her face and everything. And then he's smiling when he's,
Well, I mean, you can't like. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop you there. They're not like flying all over her face. This isn't
no, no,
like a
no,
weird
not
sausage
all
party
over her
happening.
face.
That's
I'm
not
not
how it
saying it
happens.
like that, but it's like, they're just in the air
Yeah,
because
he's a hot
um,
dog stand.
I just thought it looked kind of weird for the moment.
But the weird thing for the moment, I think, is when he's like caressing her hair
Yeah.
and smiling. That's definitely weird. But I didn't know where he was going with it when he grabbed like that hot dog and
Oh
like
yeah.
puts it in his pocket. I'm like what is he doing? And then he saves her and just ends up inside the little dog crate with all the dogs, and he gives one that hot dog. Like that was nice. And I also like the little touch that they made that like he like runs so fast he like literally melts his shoes
Yeah.
whenever he runs. Like that's really good. I really like that. And him breaking the glass, like bending it pretty much and like breaking it, that was like with his finger. Like that to me is really good. Like those scenes, like I wish they could have put those scenes into the original Justice League movie. And like I want to say some of the stuff that they're showing was in the original trailers, right? Like that, like him saving her, wasn't that in the original trailers for the Justice League?
I don't recall, but I wouldn't doubt it because Marvel does like the same crap where they put scenes that don't make it into the movie in the trailers and all.
Yeah, because like I want to say like that scene and what other scene? The scene where uh Victor is playing football and
Oh yeah.
the game before he gets into that wreck. I want to say that was also in the original trailers. I mean, don't quote me on this, but it's stuff like that that they should have kept in that original movie that would have made it better. I don't know, in my opinion.
So, like, are you saying those are also kind of your favorite scenes, like Cyborg's football scene?
Yeah, I like that. I like this football scene. I mean, I don't know. I felt like I mean, it was weird that they just do it in slow motion and everything,
Yeah.
but like I mean,
I
with
feel like in the first 2 hours there's a little bit too much slow motion in some of these
yeah,
scenes.
that's why it's 4 hours long. It's actually supposed to be three, but they had tack on another hour by making scenes slow mo. But I don't know when in that football scene when he kind of like shrugs off the first guy, and then
Yeah.
that other guy is coming at him and he like literally just hurdles him. I feel like he probably shouldn't have enough speed to hurdle that guy like he did. But I mean, of course, it's a movie. But yeah, other than that, that's my only complaint about that scene. But I really like that. I really like the fight between you know Darkseid and the Defenders of Earth whenever
Yeah.
they came first time, dude, with Ares and
Zeus,
Zeus and the
the
Atlanteans and everything like
Green Lantern.
yeah, that Green Lantern, that was crazy, especially when like that Green Lantern gets his damn hand cut off
Yeah.
and then that ring just like flies around. Darkseid almost grabs it, then he gets it, and then it keeps going. Like that was so good to me, man.
So that type of scene is the perfect like backhand setup for an actual Green Lantern if they ever want to do it the right way.
Yeah, and I mean I've heard. I mean it's all on the internet. I mean everybody's probably already. I mean most people have already seen it, other than us who lead these very busy lives. But I've seen some stuff about the ending and about a character that is there at the end, and so I mean,
See,
I,
that's a spoiler I haven't got to yet.
yeah, I mean,
So,
I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm not gonna, but I mean, it's been spoiled for me. But um, from what people are saying, they definitely left it open more for a continuation of this like Zack Snyder universe of DC characters. But I mean, what after the Flash, and I think they're doing Aquaman 2, right?
yes.
So after the Flash and Aquaman 2, I don't think they have any more plans, right?
Well, I don't know because I heard the Justice League movie and sequels were scrapped. Just because like Warner Brothers and DC they wasn't expecting the movie to get like horrible reviews.
Yeah,
Uh, they basically thought, oh, we got Joss Whedon at the time, you know. They were just thinking, oh, we got Joss Whedon. The Avengers was a huge success. Um, there's like, he'll get it going. But apparently, that wasn't the case because it was two directors' films in one. Um,
yeah.
mostly Joss Whedon's vision by the end of it. So I don't
But I
know.
mean, how much good has Joss Whedon done, right? This makes me think. Like, I mean, other than like Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the first Avengers movie, like, what's he been out here doing?
I don't know.
Like and I mean, not trying to knock Joss Whedon or anything. I mean, kind of am trying to knock Joss Whedon. Like, they Once he had made that version of the movie, they should have completely shut it down.
Age of
Somebody should have been
Ultron was
like,
decent.
"Did he do that one?"
Yeah.
Oh well, never mind. I thought he only did the first one. I thought the Russos had stepped in to do the rest of them.
No, Winter Soldier came out after. Sorry, no. Winter Soldier came out before Age of Ultron, but Joss Whedon stepped away, and then there was like, okay, we'll just have the Russos handle everything else.
Huh. But I kind of forgot where I was going with this. But yeah, no. When they had finished the first rough cut of that movie after he butchered it, somebody at Warner Brothers should have stepped in and been like, "Ayo, we're just gonna wait. We're just gonna wait until maybe Zack wants to come back to finish this movie because it's bad."
Well, that's the whole thing about their vision, right? They didn't wait for Zack Snyder to get his life together again. I mean, his daughter just passed away,
Yeah.
and they was like, no, we need this movie out now because we need to compete with Marvel. Um, so I thought it was a huge mistake. And technically, I think I read an article before that said even after Joss Whedon stepped in, they had like early screenings, and it was mostly Zack Snyder's footage, right? And they said the reactions were so awful that's why Joss Whedon did the reshoots, like at the beginning to cover up, Henry Cavill's mustache and everything. They said that's why most of those reshoots were done.
Man, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore, man. Like all I know is from what I've seen of this movie that they made it 10 times better. And of course, like I mean, I still love Zack Snyder. So
Yeah,
and I
I
mean,
I agree.
Watchmen, what he did with that movie, man, that's another long superhero movie. But like, and they do a lot of slow motion in that one too. But it's another phenomenal one, man. Like I mean, I feel like he's got a good track record for making these action but very personalized superhero movies. You know what I'm saying? Like to where you really get to know the people who are. I mean the people underneath the personas. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And but I mean you can kind of say that Watchmen was more of like a shot for shot remake of the graphic novel, but I mean it was still good.
true. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see where the last 2 hours takes us because I think it's been pretty good so far. And I know that we've got a bunch of stuff should be happening this coming week. I know a lot of people got their stimmies, so maybe next week we'll have another Tales from the Internet or something like that. People using their stimmies.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah. Oh,
and
but I'm sorry. Before we kind of jump off of Justice League, I got one question to ask you because it's been all over the internet lately. Um, favorite Batman, favorite actor who's played Batman so far.
mm, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I like Affleck, right? I like him, but it's just that version of Batman isn't really developed that well. So I'm still a pretty big fan of Christian Bale's Dark Knight.
I don't know, man. Ben Affleck's Batman is definitely my favorite one by far, man. Like, so okay, and I mean, I'll tell you why. So Christian Bale's Batman, of course, those movies are really good, but I don't feel like they really touched on Batman more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like those are really just like really good crime drama movies. You know what I'm saying, featuring Batman. But
Yeah.
I feel like Batman is being more of like a detective on this one and like going out and super finding uh, Aquaman, going out to find Barry Allen. all that stuff. Like I feel like he's doing it like he did and like just really sad too to cap it off. Like I don't know. I feel like Batman is just a super unhappy guy and under it all. And I feel like Ben Affleck does a really good job of portraying that like kind of broodiness that Batman has underneath him. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. And that whole detective stuff is why I think I'm gonna really like Robert Pattinson's Batman when it comes out.
Yeah.
Um, so that argument is still to be determined for me because the trailer for Robert Pattinson's Batman looks really good.
Oh yeah,
Um,
man.
so I mean, yeah. But I agree, Affleck's a pretty good version of Batman too. I can see why he's a lot of people's favorites for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, for all you listeners out there, uh, we definitely rushed to get this one out for you. Glad we did. But you know what? We hope you enjoyed it this week. I'm going to go ahead and get into my closing thoughts, if that's all right with you.
Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine with me, man.
And for my closing thoughts, we didn't really touch up on it because it's just a subject. Um, I want to, just put my heart out there for the Asian American community that's been affected by the recent shootings in Atlanta. And just know that, there's a lot of us out there that, especially in Georgia, that aren't like that dumb white guy who supposedly, just had a bad day and
Yeah.
did all that mess.
And I one thing though, I hate when these stories like when stuff like this happens and then it gets portrayed as oh he had a bad day or anything like that. Like no, like portray him as a racist and a piece of shit that completely just murdered people for no good reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
like
and it's just hatred and stuff like that has to stop.
I I made a Facebook post about it too, because people can believe what they want, but if you see a black person murder 8 people, I can almost guarantee you it is not going to be portrayed in the news as that guy was having a bad day.
Oh
All right.
no, they're
Uh,
gonna do everything they can to say that he was a gang member or that he had a violent history or anything like that. That's what they'll do for him to portray him in the media.
yeah, and I hate to put it that way because the focus should be on those families that lost their
Oh
loved
yeah,
ones in the Asian community, but there's still a clear disparity. And Cherokee County obviously has got to do some work in their police force because that captain doesn't know what he's talking about. Dude's a cold-blooded murderer. He didn't have a bad day. Um, so yeah, I mean, my heart goes out to the Asian community. We should just promote more love and not hatred. And
absolutely.
that's what I got. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at Jerod Evans. And maybe there will be some more activity there this week.
Yeah. Me personally, for some closing thoughts, I mean, definitely hearts go out to everyone who was affected by those shootings. Rest in peace to everybody who did unfortunately lose their lives. And I just wish stuff like this didn't have to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because we as people should care for one another, no matter you know. And I mean, I feel like that's kind of like a tired argument, skin color, uh, where you're from or anything like that. But like that's, I mean, it's the truth. Like
Yeah,
you should try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would they feel if somebody was discriminate? How would I feel if someone was discriminating against me or somebody wanted to kill me just because of outdated, dumb stereotypes or anything like that, or just like pure hatred. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Stuff is something to think about. And I mean, I kind of hate ending it on a somber note, but yeah, I mean, stuff like that happens, and I mean, I don't know how long it's going to continue happening, but I hate to see it happen. But me on Twitter, of course, you can follow me at young_abg. I have been doing a lot of tweeting today, so I mean, if anybody wants to check those out, that's all right. And us as a unit on Twitter, you can find us at unheard_of_pod. That's going to be the same on Instagram, Facebook, unheard of. Search us up. YouTube, we're on there, unheard of. Follow a link, and yeah, it's your boys.
All right. And short topics for you all, but I know we're still about in the same time range for you. And as always, we love you, we hear you, and we hope you hear us here at Unheard of.
And as always, I'm Arthur.
And I'm Jerod, and you just listened to
Unheard of.